Similarly, we have a Punnet square showing a 3-to-1 ratio. This ratio occurs when two heterozygous individuals are crossed with each other. It means that out of 4 offspring, 3 show the dominant trait and 1 shows the recessive trait. For example, we will use the textbook example of coat color in mice. 2 mice are crossed, one with black coat color and one with brown coat color. In this case, capital B represents black coat color, which is dominant, while small b represents brown coat color, which is recessive. When we cross 2 heterozygous parents, each with the genotype 1 capital B and 1 small b, as each parent produces 2 types of gametes, one with capital B and one with small b. When these gametes combine in a Punnet square, the possible offspring are 1 with both capital BB, 2 with capital B and small b, and 1 with both small bb. This gives 3 offspring showing at least 1 dominant allele and 1 offspring showing 2 recessive alleles. As a result, the phenotypic ratio becomes 3 showing the dominant trait, such as black coat color, and 1 showing the recessive trait, such as brown coat color. This ratio happens because fertilization is random, and the combination of alleles depends on probability. You can see a diagram of a genetic cross showing how coat color is inherited in mice. In the parental generation, a homozygous black male is crossed with a homozygous brown female. The black male carries 2 dominant alleles for black fur, while the brown female carries 2 recessive alleles for brown fur. Each parent passes on only 1 allele to the offspring, so the male contributes a dominant allele and the female contributes a recessive allele. In the first generation, all offspring receive 1 dominant and 1 recessive allele, making them heterozygous. Because the dominant allele masks the recessive one, all offspring appear black. When 2 of these heterozygous individuals are crossed in the second generation, their alleles separate and recombine in different combinations. This produces 4 possible outcomes: 1 homozygous dominant, 2 heterozygous, and 1 homozygous recessive. As a result, the genotypic ratio is 1 homozygous dominant, 2 heterozygous, and 1 homozygous recessive. The phenotypic ratio is 3 black offspring to 1 brown offspring, meaning 75% black and 25% brown. Now we will learn how to construct a 3-to-1 Punnet square method, and for this also we will use the example of mice fur color. In mice, fur color is used to explain inheritance where a heterozygous individual is crossed with a homozygous recessive individual. In this example, capital B represents black fur which is dominant, and small b represents brown fur which is recessive. We start by crossing 2 heterozygous parents, each with 1 capital B allele and 1 small b allele. First, we write the parental genotypes. Then we identify the gametes produced by each parent, where each parent produces 2 types of gametes, 1 carrying capital B and 1 carrying small b. Next, we draw a Punnet square and place the gametes of one parent along the top and the gametes of the other parent along the side. Now we fill in the boxes by combining the alleles from each side step by step. First, capital B from the top combines with the capital B from the side to form capital BB, which is homozygous dominant and shows the dominant trait. Then again, this capital B from the side combines with small b at the top this time, to form capital B and small b, which is heterozygous and also shows the dominant trait because the capital B allele is dominant. We again repeat the same process in the remaining boxes. Small b at the side combines with capital B at the top to form capital B and small b, which is heterozygous and shows the dominant trait. Finally, this small b will combine with small b at the top to give us 2 small b alleles, which is homozygous recessive and shows the recessive trait. After completing the Punnet square, the results show 1 homozygous dominant offspring, 2 heterozygous offsprings and 1 homozygous recessive offspring. This gives a genotypic ratio of 1:2 to ratio 1. In terms of phenotype, we get 3 black offspring as 1 capital BB and 2 capital B and small b represent black fur because the dominant allele is expressed, while small bb represents brown fur as it is recessive. So the phenotypic ratio is 3 black to 1 brown. As 3 of them have the dominant trait represented by capital B, it is called the 3-to-1 Punnet square, since 3 are dominant and only 1 is recessive. Always remember that whenever a capital letter is used, it represents the dominant trait, and whenever a small letter is used, it represents the recessive trait. We will continue using these terms in future examples. However, at this stage of learning, I am not using the words dominant and recessive directly and instead focusing on the letters used to represent each trait so that there is no confusion at this point. I hope it is clear now, so we can proceed.